Hey everyone, so I have this funnel that I'm trying to work on putting together, and what I'm doing is I'm making a webinar funnel where I have a video that plays, and idea behind the video is after the video is done playing for a certain time, I want to reveal this email and the countdown timer pretty much to the audience, but by default I just want to play a video on the screen as a video sales letter kind of approach, and from there I want to drive them towards my offer, where it takes them to a thank you page, sends them a few emails to reminder to join my webinar, and then do a live broadcast of the webinar, or send them an email in case they missed the webinar, and bring them back to my offer, the one-time offer page. Again, running some sort of a drip, and then eventually take them over to the order form where I can complete the process. So this is what I want to show in this video, is how you can create that little reveal thing where it only plays the video on the screen, and then you can kind of make this reveal after a while. I'll show you the trick that I'm using, the code that I'm using to make that happen in the new Infusionsoft landing page builder, and hopefully this is somewhat informative. I have kind of put together like a basic funnel. Most of you experts might have more elaborate funnels than this, but essentially this is where I will be driving the traffic to, and then taking them to the drip that I have over here. So pretty much this is where I'm bringing all my traffic to, and then from there I'll run the sequence, and then once the sequence is passed, I can take them, tag them to take to these particular landing pages. But idea is to start with this one. What I'm also doing is, some of the things that I will be using is the countdown timer thingy. So the countdown timer, I use Send Trick. It's a little free email countdown timer that you can just put the email, and you can kind of set your requirements. I've kind of set it for the March 2nd is like the deadline. And I've picked some colors, and I clicked generate, and it created this code for me. And this code essentially is a running countdown timer of how long it is. So essentially we will be using this image, this little URL as an image, and we'll be adding that in our landing page. So let's, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started by creating the landing page first. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll get started by double clicking on this node, and by the way, nothing is been set in any of these, so everything is like completely starting from scratch. I'll double click on this, and this will bring me to the marketplace for me to pick a landing page design. Usually I start from scratch, but there is one particular template that I like, which is this mini squeeze video sales page. Now what I'll do is I'll click on the preview of it, and you can see that it is a very simple page where I can just use this for my video placeholder and remove everything underneath it, and fill it in with my countdown timer and a email, first name last name kind of a email form, and remove everything else essentially. So I'll go ahead and click on use this template. And once I'm here, I'll just call it webinar sales page. I can pick all my branding and fonts over here, but I'll skip to the next step. And what I'll do is I'll start removing content. So I don't want this, so I can just click on delete. I'll click on delete over here, and I think this is a whole entire row. So I can quickly click on a shift and control on my keyboard, and it tells me what I'm selecting. So I can kind of select the entire kind of a row, and I can do delete. It allows me to delete items a lot quicker. I can just right click and delete, and I'm shift clicking so I can delete things faster. Alternative way to delete items, see how I'm selecting the entire row and I'm just deleting it. So that's where I have. Alternatively, you can always go to manage layout, click on the section, then go into the row, then go into the column and any rows and what have you, and do that. What I want to do is, while I'm here, I want to add a new row underneath. So you can see that there is a row right here, so I can maybe click in this one, and there is a column, and within this column you can see it's kind of a little inception, but I want to add a row in here. And now it's important that I add a row and place all my content in this row, and I'll explain to you why. This is the pretty much row, the entire row that we will be hiding away for a certain period of time for this demo. So I'll click on here and I'll drag some text. I'll drag the image. Pretty much the image is the one that we will be replacing with this countdown timer. So let me just go ahead and copy this URL. I can click over here and I can paste it like so, and so there is our image with a countdown timer running. I can also change the text over here to something like reserve my spot or something. So I can say reserve my spot. I'll make it in the center. I'll make it like a subtitle so it looks nice and big, and underneath all of this I'll drag out a form. Now what I can also do is recreate the image and have a similar background instead of white and everything, but for the purposes of this demo I'll keep everything plain and simple. In this email I also want to collect the first name of the person. I'll reorder the fields and I'll hide the labels. And this is just me trying to be a little bit creative. You don't have to go to this distance, but I'm making the form design horizontal by turning this on, and then clicking on the button and calling it save my spot, and then the color of it, I'll pick this orange. So now we have a basic page. I can also pass a autoplay flag on this. See how I have rel equals 0. I can do and autoplay equals 1, and then it automatically starts playing the video essentially. To avoid the thing, I'll keep it at autoplay is 0, and this will not play the video automatically. We'll focus more on how to hide this content when the page is loaded. So we'll keep everything as is. I'll go to next. I'm not going to focus on creating a thank you page or anything, so I'll just take them to yahoo.com for now, for the sake of this demo. I'll go onto this page and I'll go ahead and publish. I'll make it go live. So here is my page. Now it's not auto playing right now, but eventually it will. And this is the part that I kind of want to keep it hidden until certain time of this video has passed, and then I can reveal this so that people are more engaged. So what I can do first to make sure that I want to hide this area is, if you remember, we added all of this in one row. Let's go back and I'll go to the design, and we'll look at it through the manage layout piece. I'll close this. Now go to manage layout, and we have this whole row that we added. That's where everything is, and if I click on it, you'll see that we have a whole column, and within the column we have a bunch of these items, right? So then, because we added everything in this particular row, what I want to do is, on my live page, I'll right click on it and I'll go to inspect. When I click on inspect, what I want to do is I want to get to that row where everything is, and the way I find it is it has a class name of row right over here. See how it says row? So over here, what I want to do is, it creates an ID for each row. Infusionsoft landing page builder does. So it creates this unique ID to it. So what I want to do is I'll copy this ID and I'll keep it in my clipboard. Okay, this allows you to know what you want to hide using that custom JavaScript that we are about to write. And the custom JavaScript is very simple to add. So what I will do is I will go back onto the landing page. I'll go to the launch step. Now over here in this very bottom one, I don't want to add it in the top or the middle part. I'll load this item at the very bottom. So I'll put it in a script tag. Okay. Now to speed up some of the process, I will be sharing this code with you. What I want to do is I want to bring in a preset JavaScript, and I'll explain to you exactly what the JavaScript does. So I will bring and copy and paste this JavaScript snippet that I have right over here. And so in here, now make this larger so you can see it's not a whole lot. And you can use this over and over for your purposes. There are only two things that you would want to change. The first thing is this long hash code that I have. We will replace it with the code that I copied, which is this. It starts with 937 something something, and it's a very long code, and it's the same thing, that it's the ID of that particular row that we created, right? So I'm just pasting the same exact thing over here. And then at the bottom where it says 9,000, this is how many milliseconds, microseconds or milliseconds, how late do you want to, so this 9,000 is equivalent to 9 seconds essentially. So if I were to seconds to milliseconds, I think. So 1 is 1,000, yeah, so it is milliseconds. So if you want, let's say you have a video that's 2 minutes long or something, so I can do 2 minutes and 13 minutes long, and it'll give me the number for how many milliseconds it adds up to. If you just search on Google from seconds to milliseconds, and then you can switch to hours or minutes and what have you. So let's say my video is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Which I believe is true. If I click on play, yeah, it's about 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So let's say I want to load the content after 2 minutes. I can do that, do so, like maybe reduce it down to 1 minute and 50 seconds, so people start getting idea. And these are the milliseconds on average when it should load. And I might be doing some calculations wrong over here. If I do 2 minutes, it's a lot more. So maybe Google needs to figure out, or you can figure out a better conversion tool where you can find the right timing. For the purposes of the demo, I'll keep it at 9 seconds. So we'll wait for 9 seconds and we'll see that the part of the page will automatically reveal itself. So after I put this code in, remember I only changed 2 items. I changed this in the quotes to my ID of my row or my section, what have you. And then I'm already setting some invisible class that makes it invisible. You don't need to worry about this part unless you are a JavaScript expert, but you can read the code and you'll know exactly what it's doing. But the only 2 things that we are changing is the ID and then the time duration over here. Notice there are no quotes around this time duration. So whatever number you put over here, it's just a number. That is all you need to do. And now if I click outside of this, and if I just click on republish, what will happen is I'll close this and I'll open the new page. What you'll notice is there is nothing on the page besides the video. And after 9 seconds, and we can do the countdown, but 10, there it is, and there it loads the whole entire content after a while. So you can quickly create a page where you can delay some content, and you can always be more creative with loading this content, but I just wanted to quickly show you how every time I refresh the page, the content will not load. You can wait for 9 seconds, and after 9 seconds it will load, reveal the content within the page. You can show, use this, you can make it longer, make it 120,000 milliseconds or something, and it'll allow you to load that content on the page by itself. So hopefully this video was somewhat informative. With this video, I will be sharing the code snippet that I used, which is right over here, and you can use it for your purposes. Again, all we did was we right clicked on it, we clicked on inspect, and then we found the row. So I just kind of navigated myself up to wherever it said row, found the first row, and I copied the ID of the row right over here, and then I replaced it in the code right over here. So essentially that, and then I can change the timing over here to whatever I want. Just those two simple things, and pasting this code in the last block of code pasting should make the content reveal when you want it to reveal, how you want it to reveal. This works not only for rows but the entire section, so you can load the entire page, remainder of the page, make it a full sales letter also after a certain time period. So hopefully this kind of gives you guys a good idea. If you have any more questions, feel free to respond to this video and ask any questions you have, and I'd be happy to any kind of feedback that you have, I'd be happy to hear those also. But have a good time and enjoy.